Hey there, I'm Kasawski, MLA for Sherwood Park, and this is a new video series that we're going to try called Hamlet Heroes. And our first guest, our first ever guest for Hamlet Heroes, is Sharon Siga. Sharon, did I say your last name right?
Yep, you got it.
Sharon Siga is with Strathcona County Library, and she is got a lot to say about libraries and just about Sherwood Park, which is her home. So we're going to get right into a great conversation. How did you decide to come to Sherwood Park?
Well, I was actually working in Grand Prairie. I was the director at Peace Library System, which was 28 public libraries all over the northwest part of the province. I loved that job, and it was cities to tiny villages, all scattered across the northwest. But my parents were getting a bit older; they were in the Edmonton area, and I saw an ad in the paper, and it was for CEO at Strathcona County Library.
Yeah.
So I was so thrilled with the idea of, again, an urban rural mix. And the bonus was it's a lot more geographically easy to drive around than the Peace Country. So that's what brought me to
I bet.
the
I bet
park
you there's some areas of the Peace Country that be driving 5 hours just to get to, right?
from place to place.
That's a
Yeah.
long way to go if you have to bring back a late library book.
Oh, it is. It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yes.
And so when did you come to Sherwood Park?
I moved here in 2001.
Okay, okay, great. So
Yeah.
it's been a long time that
It's
you've
been
been
a
here. It's
while.
home.
Yeah.
What is one of your favorite things about Sherwood Park?
What I love about the county in Sherwood Park, of course, is it's a real can-do spirit, a community spirit. I was just talking to Karen from A Safe Place. They're about to celebrate their 40th anniversary. And there are a lot of organizations that are 40, 45, 50 years old. And they seem to have a similar origin story of someone saw a need, said, will you come over to my house and we'll talk about it?
Yeah.
So they organized in a living room and they created an organization. And that's kind of the story of the library too. I think our library was one of the only ones in Alberta that used a provision in the Libraries Act that's gone now, that you could petition your municipality to give you library service, and they had to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah. So people
so
saw a need and they wanted to fill that need, so they
yeah,
petitioned the government for.
they petitioned the municipality of Strathcona
Yeah.
County at the time, and uh, I've met people. People say to me, "Oh, I organized some of those meetings in my home," or "I remember signing the library petition." So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's people really feel connected to their institutions because in a lot of cases they created those organizations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I imagine the libraries have changed a lot since when they first started. I remember going to a library as a kid growing up in Sherwood Park. But if you think back to maybe even like 1988 versus today, how different is a library?
Things are pretty different. Thinking back to like 1988, so definitely you would have had books on the shelf. I think at that point there was talk about maybe at some point books will be digital. Um, if you wanted something that wasn't in your local collection, your library would have to work very hard to find out what other libraries had. And you definitely have to go to the card catalog to find out what was
Right.
what was around you in the library to find that.
I feel like we should stop right now and tell the kids in the audience what a card catalog is.
Yes, well, imagine a cabinet with many drawers, and in each drawer were all of these cards and you would search by author, or you would search by title, or you would search by subject.
Wow.
And you get your call number and you go find the thing.
Yeah, the beginning of the internet was taking a card out of a little cabinet and walking it up to the front desk or going over to the library shelf to see if you can find the book you were
Yeah,
looking for.
but
Very, very cool.
but the reason we have materials to begin with is to level the playing field. So people often refer to public libraries as the people's university.
Right.
So there's knowledge for everyone. So um, that part's the same. Nowadays, there's not only the physical things you find in the library, DVDs and audiobooks, but that same content digitally that you can access because the library is subscribed to it. Now, if you want something that we don't have in our library, it's an easy search of all 24 million things that are in public libraries across Alberta, and we'll get it for you.
Yeah.
You can use your library card anywhere in the province, in any public library. And so that still we're trying to level the playing field. I know that in the early 2000s, there was a lot of discussion about why do we need a library when there's the internet? But libraries actually needed more space because they were offering public computers. So again, we're trying to level the playing field. That digital divide is what we're trying to do. And I'd say the last thing that's neat about libraries today is that we're trying to bridge the social divide, the community divide, because there is loneliness in our community. And also people who spend all their workday online want to go to a physical place where they can be with other people. So those are some of the differences and similarities.
Well, and I think of the library now as like a hub, a social hub. And I also am learning that it's becoming, I think I'm learning from you, that it's becoming a place where services, or people seek the services that, for maybe newcomers that have come to Canada. Can you just tell a little bit about how the library is moving in that space in terms of being able to serve the community?
Definitely. Public libraries, we don't have infinite resources. And so we find that we can have greater impact often through partnerships. And so one of the neat ones is with the Edmonton Immigrant Services Association. They're based in Edmonton. They get federal funding, but they have a cool program called the Library Settlement Program. And so what they found is that newcomers often come to public libraries as one of their first places to get information. It's a comfortable place where anybody feels comfortable coming in. So public libraries across the Edmonton region, in our library, we provide like an office space where a settlement worker can meet with newcomers and provide them with information, and everything from how bus systems work, how you need to cope when winter is coming, how to take citizenship exam, just a wide variety of supports for kids who are entering school in a new country. So it's really neat. And I was looking at the statistics for 2024, and just under half of the newcomers that came to our library and met with the settlement worker were from the Ukraine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I know that there's lots of organizations in our community that are supporting Ukrainian newcomers. We also see a number of people from India, the Philippines, so they might be temporary foreign workers, they might have permanent residency, they might be refugees, but it's a comfortable space to get information. And what I love about Grajna, our settlement worker, is she's also very keen on making sure that the newcomers know what the resources are that the library can offer them as well. So she's like this great library ambassador too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know you just finished a survey of the community. I don't know if you've had a chance to review the thousands of survey responses, but are you getting some ideas on what people want the library to be going into the future?
Yeah, our survey just ended on Tuesday. So I haven't looked at all of it. We actually have a consultant that's going to really do a data analysis for, I think it was 1,200 survey responses, all the information we collected in in-person meetings and things. But I could give you a few examples of things that stand out for me. I know that our library hours have come up, and the question about, maybe you should be open Sunday morning. Do you really need to be open Friday evening? We have lots of studiers that come to our library because, of course, we don't have a post-secondary institution here, but tons of post-secondary students, and they really don't necessarily want to go into Edmonton again in the evening to study. So we're getting feedback on, could you have more single study space? Because we do have a number of study tables that are more geared for 4 people.
Yeah.
And we even had a suggestion, had we thought about special visit times that would have lower light and noise levels so that it may be more accessible to everybody in the community.
Those are some good ideas.
Those are some great ideas. Yeah.
Well, so Sharon, there is a lot of services that the library offers, and it maybe not everybody knows about all of them. So if there's something you'd like to talk about the library, now's a good time to do that.
That'd be fantastic. I definitely want to talk about the bookmobile.
Right.
So we have the Central Library here in Sherwood Park, but we also have a universally accessible vehicle, our bookmobile that goes out into rural Strathcona. So it has regular stops Monday through Thursday and other special visits it does to daycares and seniors facilities Monday through Friday, both in the rural Strathcona and also in Sherwood Park. It's actually a converted transit bus. So it has a ramp that folds down, it kneels. So you can get on the bookmobile in a wheelchair, in a scooter, and if you've got a stroller or anything else, it's our mobile community hub. So people go, oh, I wonder if so-and-so has already been to the bookmobile. I'll go and I'll see if we can connect. So.
And if people want to find the schedule for that, is it on a website, or how do they find out when the bookmobile will be in their area?
Yes, our website is sclibrary.ca, and you'll find the bookmobile schedule. You'll find out more about all our programs and services.
Well, I loved you saying that library is known as the People's University, and it sounds like you bring the university to the people. So that sounds fantastic. It's a great service.
Thank you.
Now, we also have a section of our interview which we like to call rapid fire questions. So if you're ready, I'm going to send some your way.
Okay, I'm ready.
Do you drink coffee?
I don't drink coffee, but I love hot chocolate and tea.
Where would be your favorite place in Sherwood Park to go for a hot drink?
There's lots of great places. I had a great conversation sitting in the sun in Cafe Haven.
Cafe Haven.
Yeah. And it's not far from where I live, so.
Yeah. Okay. What about our favorite restaurant in Sherwood Park?
Have to go with Vicky's Bistro and Wine Bar. I have other collaborating reasons for choosing. My brother-in-law, who's from the States, said that when he ate there during our visit, he said that was the best food he had in Canada on his visit. So it's like,
Vicky's best food in Canada.
Yeah.
High endorsement.
Yeah. Very high. Yeah. Yes.
That's really good.
It is.
Now, what about, we have a lot of great trails and parks in Sherwood Park, Strathcona County. Are any of them a favorite of yours?
I am so lucky. I live very close to Cottonwood Park, which has some gentle hills, and there's a great tobogganing hill, but also people who kindly go out and break the snow for cross-country skiing.
Okay.
And then I just throw my skis over my shoulder and walk to the park.
Fantastic.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Do you ever get out to the trails in like for the Strathcona Wilderness Center?
I've been a few times. Yes, I do love those trails
and
too.
Cat or dog or both?
Cat, just because grew up with cats, so just not dog familiar.
Oh. Okay, I like that phrase, dog familiar. You've probably read a few books.
I have.
Okay, if you think about a book that has changed your life, what would be one that you would say has changed your life?
There are so many great books, of course, but I was thinking about some of the challenges we're facing these days, and so I'm going to go back to my early teens when I read Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, and Gandalf says to Frodo, Frodo's like, why is this happening now? Oh, woe is me. And Gandalf is like, that's all right. All we have to do is decide what we do with the time we're given. So sometimes when you get discouraged, you just have to get back to, but what can we do about what's going on?
Yeah, some great wisdom in the Lord of the Rings and Gandalf.
Great wizard wisdom, yes.
Wizard wisdom. Well, I think that's a great place to end our conversation. And thanks for joining us for this episode of Hamlet Heroes. Again, we have Sharon Siga with Strathcona County Library, one of our Hamlet Heroes.